With opioids becoming more of a devastating national epidemic, more people are probably wondering how drugs affect the brain. What is the effect of consistent use and abuse? How does your brain react to drug or alcohol use? Alcohol damage. Alcohol consumption, especially in excess, has many damaging effects on brain function. Some studies have stated that mild drinking, 1 drink a day for women, 2 for men, has few ill effects. But a recent study showed that even moderate drinking could shrink areas of the brain responsible for cognition and learning. The hippocampus is associated with memory and reasoning. In the study, those who drank excessively for more than 30 years had severe hippocampus depletion. At the same time, within weeks of not drinking, this atrophy showed significant improvements. Alcohol has other harmful effects. It alters the brain's neurotransmitters, which can cause slurred speech, blurry vision, and slowed reaction times. The latter is especially dangerous when operating a vehicle. Drug effects. Different drugs have different effects on the brain. For example, the brain's response to marijuana is much different than its response to cocaine or heroin. When someone uses drugs, important neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins are either enhanced or depleted. Certain drugs, like marijuana, mimic chemicals and actions that already occur within the brain. Although they're similar, the signals are still different enough to cause your brain to work harder to process any internal messages sent. Other drugs, such as heroin or cocaine, have almost the opposite effect. They either under or overstimulate those neurotransmitters, causing either a huge release or an overwhelming lull. This disrupts any of the conversations we have going on between our brain and the nervous system. Sobriety from alcohol. Once alcoholics refrain from drinking, brain atrophy begins to reverse. Since alcohol dependency shows neurogenesis, or brain development, abstinence has an opposite effect. The hippocampus also sees new brain cell growth, though this doesn't happen immediately once recovery starts. The early stages of recovery show cognitive decline in ways that differ later on. The longer one remains abstinent, the more cognitive function improves. This is why it's important to minimize stress in the beginning stages of treatment and recovery. Physical exercise is another way to promote brain cell growth, and why many treatment centers supplement abstinence with physical activity and organized nutrition. Reversing brain damage. Unfortunately, when it comes to drug use, reversing the damaging effects isn't as simple. What can be done to restore health depends upon which types of drugs were used and the extent of use. To understand this, let's focus on a brain's recovery from methamphetamine addiction. Some damage is reversible, while other damage is not. And recovery only begins after an extended period of abstinence. It's not enough to encourage brain rehabilitation when a person is relapsing into use. Behavior modification therapies can go a long way, but from a physiological standpoint, there are more challenges. If brain damage took place in an area where other brain cells compensated for what was offset from drug addiction, recovery may be possible, if not likely. However, if the damage occurred in an area of brain function that was more specialized with less overlap, then full recovery can be hampered. Once brain function is compromised, mental health suffers too. It's common for those addicted to drugs or alcohol to already have or develop mental illness such as anxiety, depression, or bipolar disorder. If you or a loved one need help for an alcohol or drug addiction, you're not alone. You and your family deserve to experience a life well lived that's healthy, happy, and drug-free. Contact us today for more help in enrolling into one of our treatment programs. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.